Well, this is a day I'll not soon forget. I've seen a few things in my time, but I've not flown on an eagle's back till today. Well, now that it's a bit easier to talk, let me thank you properly for saving our lives and bid you welcome to Norbinbad, our home. Nordri's father, the Lord Gorin, will want to speak with you. Nordri's gone ahead to report on the Gundabad raid and to tell him about everything you did for us.
Why did you lead your warriors against Mount Gundabad?
We keep a careful watch on the orcs of the mountains. When we saw them gathering in large numbers at Gundabad, we had reason to believe they were preparing to move against us here. We didn't like our chances against that many orcs, but we knew about the hidden weapon at Gundabad. So Nordri and I led a small force there to use it against them.
You undertook that mission believing you would not return.
Aye, every dwarf was a volunteer and knew he wouldn't be coming back.
But you said Nordri is Gorin's son. He let his heir undertake such a mission.
He didn't have a choice. After a lifetime of lecturing the lad about his duty to his people, there was no way Gorin could say no when Nordri volunteered, much as he'd have liked to.
What can you tell us of the device you used to collapse the ceiling at Gundabad? I've never heard of such weapons.
It was an ancient defense made by the dwarves who delved Gundabad long ago. Nobody understood the qualities of stone better than the dwarves of old, and they knew that just the right sound can cause solid stone to split. They used that knowledge to build a defense against any enemy who might force their way past the gates of their home.
But Mount Gundabad has been in the hands of the orcs for centuries. How did you know about so ancient a weapon?
Aye, it's been in the hands of the orcs for many a year, but not straight through. I was only a lad when my people fought a great war against the orcs, but my father helped sack Gundabad. He was one of the stoneworkers who found the weapon. It made a big impression on him, and he told me the tale so many times I was sure I could find the thing and use it against the orcs.
But how did you know it would still work after all this time?
We didn't. The whole thing was a gamble. Luckily it paid off.
Am I correct in guessing that you might have a similar defense here?
Some things are best left secret, I think.
Do you think the orcs will follow us here to Norbinbad?
Escaping on eagles like we did will throw them off the trail a bit, but it won't be long before they realize it was a group of dwarves that hit them first, and that'll get them thinking about us here. It's not like they're not thinking about Norbinbad anyway, but I'll let Gorin tell you more about that.
We're grateful for the welcome, but in the rush of battle and our escape, I don't believe we actually caught your name.
Oh, confound me for an old fool! Bruni, son of Bane, at your service and your families. I'm captain of the Norbinbad Guard and a servant of Lord Gorin.
We would be pleased to speak with Lord Gorin.
Just make your way past the doors you see yonder and you'll find him within. The guards have been instructed to let you pass.
I suspect I'm the first man to see the inside of these halls.
I am certain I am the first elf to do so.
Who would have guessed that such a place still existed in these mountains?
Here, sire, those I spoke of. Allow me to present a kinsman, Farin of Erebor, and also Andriel and Eradan, his companions. We succeeded in our task, and I live to tell of it, thanks only to their aid.
You are most welcome here, kinsman, and no less so your companions, be they man, elf, or eagle. Welcome all to Norbinbad, last hall of the Longbeards in the Grey Mountains. You have returned to me, my son and my oldest friend, whom already I mourned as lost. For this, you will forever have my gratitude and the hospitality of these halls. Know that this is not something lightly given. For never before have we allowed any but our own folk to pass these gates. And no eyes have gazed upon the hidden lake of Azanzaram, save those of our close kindred. Yet for what you have done, I will gladly lay aside our ancient oath of secrecy.
You are Longbeards. Then you are of Durin's folk, and close kin to Farin.
Aye. In centuries past, most of our kin called these mountains home. But then the dragons came from the far north. One by one, our halls were lost or abandoned. All but Norbinbad. We alone endured those dark times. And thanks to you, we may hope to endure our current troubles as well.
What can you tell me of your home?
My great-great-grandsire was the first to enter the caves of this mountain, where he discovered the hidden lake we call Azanzaram. He was awed by its beauty, and led some of his kin here. Slowly, over many long years, with loving hands and careful chisels, we created the halls you see before you. Norbinbad was never rich in gold or jewels, but its beauty would move even the most cold-hearted dwarf. That is why we have remained here for so long. There is not a dwarf among us who would not choose death over exile from our home.
This lake, did your kin create it?
Nay, my ancestors discovered Azanzaram even as you see it. We have worked with care to enhance what we found. A chip here, a tap there, fashioning bridges, halls, and tunnels. But always, we have taken care to preserve the great gift we were given.
It is beautiful. I am honored to behold it.
May I ask how it was you happened to be in so unlikely a place as Mount Gundabad? One does not go lightly into so foul a pit.
We were seeking a servant of the enemy, a man known as Agandaûr.
Agandaûr. We are familiar with that one. Curse his black heart.
He appeared before our gates some weeks past, and called us to parley, in the name of Sauron the Great, so he said.
A parley? What did he ask of you?
He demanded that we yield ourselves up to the mercy of Sauron, as if there was any mercy in the Dark Lord.
He lays claim to Norbinbad, telling us if we turn over our halls and riches without a fight, our lives will be spared, and we will be free to seek a new home elsewhere.
Of course, we would have nothing of that. When we defied him, he grew wrathful, threatening us with the fiery doom that overtook our ancestors.
What could he want with Norbinbad? I do not mean to offend, but these halls are very remote. Is it wealth he seeks?
Nay, Norbinbad provides for our needs, but never have we considered it rich, save in beauty.
I fear he may have allied himself with the dragon Orgast, who dwells in these parts. With such a beast at his command, we would have little hope of resisting him.
Perhaps the best course would be to destroy this dragon before Agandaûr sends him against us.
Well, destroy Orgast? If only it were that simple. The attack on Gundabad would be a peaceful stroll around the lake in comparison. Nay, if it were so easy to slay dragons, there would be many more dwarves still dwelling in these mountains.
Urgost has never taken notice of us before. We rather hoped it would stay that way.
They say it does not pay to leave a live dragon out of your calculations if you live near one.
And we cannot allow Agandaûr to gain such a powerful ally.
Agreed. Where can we find Urgost?
You do not lack for courage, I will grant you. Yet we know not where the dragon dwells. No dwarf has discovered his lair and lived to tell of it.
Perhaps Radagast knows this secret, or can discover it. Seems there is little that happens in Wilderland that escapes his notice.
Who is Radagast?
Radagast the Brown. He is a wizard, a master of birds and beasts. He keeps to himself mostly, but he's a decent enough sort. As long as you mean no harm to the wild creatures he befriends.
He dwells within the forest of Mirkwood, away to the south. Perhaps your companion Belaram would know where to find him, for it is said that Radagast is a friend to the Lord of Eagles himself.
Much as I'd like to avoid Mirkwood, seems like it'd be worth our time to speak to this wizard.
Indeed. But before you set out, please accept a token of our gratitude. Seek out my steward Galahar. I have instructed him to open our vaults to you. I believe you may find something within that will be of service in the days ahead.
I still can't believe I'm alive. I thought I would draw my last breath in the fetid air of Mount Gundabad. Mind you, I'm not complaining.
Tell me about Goran, your father. Is he a king?
King? Oh, no. He is merely the Lord of Norbinbad. We acknowledge Dane Ironfoot as the rightful king of the Longbeards. Not that he has any idea of our existence.
Someday you may be Lord of Norbinbad. Will you seek a reunion with your sundered kin when that day comes?
Secrecy has always preserved us here before, but it can't do so for much longer. We are a dwindling folk, and this war has only made that worse. Norbinbad is precious, but I see little point in leaving it empty. If we survive the days ahead, we will seek out our kin. My father sees the need for this as well. Were it not so, I wouldn't have dared bring you and your friends to our hidden halls.
Tell me about Bruni, the other dwarf who survived Mount Gundabad.
Bruni is the captain of our guard, and a terror to the orcs of these mountains. He's been my father's best friend since long before I was born, and he taught me how to wield an axe, and what it means to serve.
It sounds as if you have been in Mirkwood before.
I've been around it a lot more than in it, and that suits me just fine. I don't care for that wood. Don't know how anyone could. But I've often traveled to the eaves of the forest to trade with the Bjornings who live thereabout. It was on such a trading venture that I happened to meet Radagast.
Who are these people, the Bjornings?
A hardy folk, and brave, as any who dwell between Mirkwood and the Misty Mountains would need to be. Under their chieftain, Grimbjorn, they've kept the mountain passes and river crossings open, even in these troubled times. But I've heard rumors of war on their borders of late. The high passes may now be closed, at least to those without the benefit of eagle wings.
Can you tell me more about Radagast?
He's an unusual sort. Friend to all beasts and birds. To be honest, I don't think he cares much for dwarves. But maybe he just prefers the company of animals. One thing's certain, there are few people with more knowledge of this part of the world. He even spoke of Norbinbad as if it were common knowledge.
Do you believe we will be a match for Urgost?
It's not that I doubt your courage and skill, and I'd be mighty glad to no longer have a dragon as a neighbor. But truthfully, I wonder if anyone can overcome such a beast. I just hope your luck proves equal to your daring.
What comes next for your folk?
I'm afraid we're all out of tricks to play. All we can do is prepare our defenses, hunker down and wait for whatever the winds of war might blow our way.
I wish you luck with whatever fate may bring. Farewell, Nordri.
Ah, you must be that ranger I've been hearing about. Word of you has spread like a beard on fire. I'm pleased to meet anyone who strikes a blow against the enemy. And I hear you struck a very hard blow indeed. So, how can I help you today?
You've hidden in this isolated cavern for a long time. Could it be that you found something precious, like mithril?
Oh, we've no such wealth as mithril here. Not that I haven't dreamt of finding a vein of true silver. I work iron and a bit of ordinary silver or gold. A few gems here and there. Mostly we hide to escape the notice of the dragons. Bad blood between dwarves and dragons as well, you know. And then there's all the orcs. Ah, but I dream of a day when we could trade for finer goods. I've been working on a silver belt studded with crystal, with a special mount for the gem I crave above all others. The gem that comes from no mine.
What gem is that?
Pearls! The most perfect and beautiful of precious things. How they glimmer and gleam. I've hoarded a small handful of white pearls, but even those won't satisfy me for this belt. My dream of perfection is nothing less than the fabled Black Pearl. I've heard rumor of them, but I fear I'll never see one.
I can't promise anything, but I'll keep an eye open for black pearls. If I can bring you one, I will.
Mighty good of you. You'll find me generous should you return. I mean, when you return. Anything else I can do for you?
Is that burnt hair that I smell?
Well, hard to be a smith without getting a few sparks in your beard. What do you expect when you're working with a hammer and forge and hot metal? They've taken to calling me Burry Burntbeard. Used to have a beard down to my belt. Well, shorter is safer. Long as you keep a bucket of water handy, there's nothing to worry about.
How great are your skills as a smith?
I'm no braggart, but I'll put my skills up against any smith, dwarf, elf, or man. You may think I don't know much, being set apart from others of my craft. But I'll tell you a little secret. My grandsires go back all the way to the smiths that worked alongside the great elven smith, Celebrimbor himself. In the days of ancient Eregion, there was a great friendship between elves and dwarves. We've passed down skills from forgotten times. I know runes of power and other secrets that give my weapons and armor a hidden strength you'll not find elsewhere. You won't complain about my work.
Tell me of Celebrimbor.
None was a greater craftsman of jewels and forger of metals than Celebrimbor, who was Lord of Eregion. Close friend he was to Narvi, the great stone master, and to my grandsires. He even made 7 rings of power for the dwarves. It was Celebrimbor who knew that Sauron had betrayed the elves by making 1 ring. He heard the enemy declare himself master over all. He was killed in the first war against Sauron, and many of his secrets were lost. Narvi and his kin were lost as well. Only one of my ancestors escaped to carry the tale. So it's been told from grandsire to me.
What lore do you know of Eregion?
The lore passed down from me grandsires is little enough. That Eregion lay west of the Misty Mountains near Moria. That the elves of Eregion were of a kind known as Noldor, and were clever craftsmen. The Noldor didn't know in the beginning that Sauron was evil. Sauron came to Eregion and taught them how to forge rings of power. But after Sauron was revealed, he invaded Eregion and destroyed it. Nearly 5,000 years ago, that was. Doubt there's much left of the place now. But Sauron's fixing to do the same thing all over again. Even here in the far north.
It is clear the folk of Norbinbad take pride in their work.
So you're the Dúnedain Ranger, eh? I can't see what all the fuss is about. I suppose you're tougher than you look, though I heard you had a dwarf helping you. Are you here to buy something? I've an excellent stock of the best Norbinbad craftwork, so speak up. Time's a-wasting.
Are you always this cheerful?
Well, let's see. We've got an orc army growing, a dragon hungry for dwarf snacks, and one of Sauron's lieutenants making threats. Pardon me while I break out in a song and dance. Now see here, I need to do some business, so how's about you buy something before I get downright grumpy?
Goran sent me to you. He said I should speak to you to receive a token of his gratitude.
Yes, yes. He may have mentioned it to me. It was rather too generous of him. Not that I don't appreciate what you did, but how does he expect me to increase our wealth by giving our best work away? Well, here you go. Take your pick. Are you here to buy something? Speak up. Time's a-wasting.